Presenting Benny Goodman and his music.
All right, here we go. Morning, evening, Chris. Hey, Gene. Should be sound now. Took me a second to get going there. Realized I got busy fighting with people on TikTok and Twitter. I decided to post the clip of me going by the big silver building. Hey, Bridget. It's all right to stay sober tonight, Ian. Just drink water. That's all good, too. Me, I'm just having a PBR tonight. I'm such a hipster, I know. Top of the evening, Beth. Hey, Joanne.
Benny Goodman, ladies and gentlemen, the man with the torrid clarinet and the even more torrid band who purveys assorted rhythms, all danceable, in the urban room of the Congress Hotel in Chicago. And first of all, one of Irving Berlin's greatest hits, Blue Skies.
Evening, Cindy. Hey, Diana. Hey, Candace. Candace. Good to see Candace. I was at Candace's art show last night at the Jarvis Tavern. Incredible scratch boards. Hey, Jordana. Hey, Chuck. Hey, you know what I found out through Facebook's memories function thing is today is 2 years since I started doing morning mini tours. Oh, Karen, that wasn't sneaky earlier. That was me hitting the wrong button while trying to film something for next week. Hey, Brooklyn. Hey, Gregory. Cheers. Hey, Deanna. Hey, June. 2 years, everybody. 14 years since Ronnie got to Chicago. 40 years since my parents got married. About 5 seconds since somebody gave me a lecture for being an immature tour guide on TikTok. All right. Well, Timothy, I see that one anyway. Yeah, sorry there might have been like a 30-second notification this afternoon. 44 years. Oh. I'm not counting properly. Yeah, you didn't get married after I was born, sorry. But there's nothing wrong with it there. Slancha. All right, Time Travel Pub Crawl is broadcasting on Twitter right now, too. I don't know if anybody's going to watch on there, but we'll find out. 3 people I see watching. All right. I think I'm immature for my comments about the big silver building on boat tours. I just posted a clip of it because I felt like getting in a fight. Somebody posted a window at Uptown with a Nazi flag in it. Other people, and someone saying, well, don't throw rocks. You're inciting violence. You're just as bad as... Hell with that. Happy anniversary, Mom and Dad. Hey, Gene. Over on Twitch. Oh, Gene, that's rough. Hey, Rebecca. Slot you all around. Can't reply to comments. That's weird. Sorry to hear that. Howdy, Donna. Yeah, we should be on YouTube, too. Yes, I see Gravity's Double Rainbow. Hey, Cindy. Hey, Christy. I missed saying hi, Christy, earlier. Hey, Grandma Belle. Hey, Karen. It's a lot of anniversaries today. It's my parents' anniversary. It's the anniversary of Ronnie moving to Chicago. It is the 2nd anniversary within a day or so of morning mini tours. Hey, Christine. Hey, David. Welcome on time. Hey, Lucian. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Kristen. Hey, Alex and Debbie. I had forgotten most of last year's St. Patrick's Day pub crawl till this morning, but it's a great one. I was just going through the stack this morning. And by the way, we found where that backdraft scene was filmed. Took some doing. It seems to be, it might depend on what kind of browser you're using, whether you're going to reply to comments and stuff. Alright, well, my TikTok about Perry H. Smith did not do too well this morning, but the Trump one's doing alright. Very quickly got, backdraft location. I mean, I don't know. I've never even seen the movie, honestly. Dean, yes, they dye the river every year. It uses a vegetable-based dye, which is safe for everybody, but they don't tell you the actual formula. But 25 pounds of dye will make a pretty good chunk of the river green like that for a few days. Looks like Ecto Cooler. Lady Meow over on Twitch. There'll be drink whatever you feel like. Hey, Liz. Hey, Jay. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Jerry.
Goes way back and gets a lot of rhythm out of
Hey, Eileen.
Benny Goodman and his orchestra.
Adam Street Bridge, named after me. June, the dye does tend to look orange when it's in powder form. Hey, Lori. Hey, Bob. Coffee. That works for me. Cosmos over there. For me tonight, it's a PBR. I want to be where the PBR. Hey, Barbara. Hey, Grace. Eli just bought a house. I think he's doing all right. Shamrock Martini sounds good. Jameson's Cold Brew sounds good. Everything sounds delicious. Hey, Katie. Paula, the picture on the shelf behind me, that is a Banksy. It's the one picture my wife and I could agree on. Over here, we got my Nighthawks. Back here, we got a Bob Dylan poster and a Beatles poster. And behind me, there's some Lord, some Springsteen, an autographed Weird Al spatula, and some more Dylan. Hey, Wexley. Hi up there in Maine. Oh, Luca is a Uno shark. You know, I play Uno with a lot of squirrel groups. They often have house rules. It's terrifying. Picture on the shelf next to me here. Oh, that's me as a Simpsons character tour guide. My parents got me that. Hey, Carol. And that's my living room, everybody. And this one, of course, is my new book, Murder Maps, USA. And sorry for those of you who it's not letting reply to comments tonight. I'm not Facebook tech support, but it seems like it might be a browser thing, might just be a Facebook thing. Beverly Kitties are great. Good evening, Kathy.
And they all loved it. They all loved those passages when they played by Benny Goodman. And now another one just in the same vein, Rosetta.
Oh my, up to 8,000 views. Ticking some people off, but it's TikTok, so I imagine things way towards me. Hey, Sue. Hey, Amy. Evening, Eleanor. We'll let Benny Goodman finish up one more tune before we get started. I'm losing track of time already. Hey, Heather. I'll just let people find it out in the comments. I'm too busy on here. TikTok is Adam Chicago, same as the Venmo. The clocks are a flat circle. I don't know about time itself. Time, they say, is a curve. But of course, it depends on how one views time. The great Michael Keaton stand-up routine that I heard on the radio when I was a kid, then didn't know who it was until years later about, Bazooka Joe comic, and Bazooka Joe's about to throw a clock out the window. And Mortimer says, well, what's that for? And Bazooka Joe says, well, I want to see time fly. And Mortimer says, well, time is a rather ethereal subject, don't you think? And Bazooka Joe says, well, it depends on how one views time. Time, 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 see what's come of me. Funny how my memories are. Looking over cops and cars. Drinking my PDR. Hey, Bala, hey, Betty. Sorry for the comments issues. That's just one of those Facebook things that I can't really help. All right. This has been Benny Goodman coming to you live from the Congress Hotel in downtown Chicago.
Presented from the Joseph Urban Room of the Congress Hotel in downtown Chicago. And now Benny Goodman's arrangement of The Bugle Call Rang.
All right, I think that means that's about enough time. I think it is time we get started with our theme song.
Climb aboard, cause you don't know exactly where or when we'll go. Chicago 1893, or the Gilded Age in NYC. Blast off into outer space, drink till you're flat on your face. From the comfort of your home. So if you puke alone, one day we'll even find that place in France. And don't come crying to us if you pee your pants. Time travel pub crawl, time travel pub crawl, time travel pub crawl, yeah!
About a maid I'll sing a song, sing a rickety-tickety-tin. About a maid I'll sing a song, she didn't have her family long. Not only did she do them all wrong, but she did every one of them in, did every one of them in. Her mother, she could never stand a rickety-tickety-tin. Her mother, she could never stand, and so a cyanide soup she planned. The mother died with a spoon in her hand, and her face in a hideous grin, her face in a hideous grin. One day when she had nothing to do, rickety-tickety-tin. One day when she had nothing to do, she cut her baby brother in two, and all the other boiled him up in an Irish stew. And invited the neighbors in, invited the neighbors in. She weighted her brother down with stones, rickety-tickety-tin. She weighted her brother down with stones and sent him off to Davy Jones. All they ever found were some bones. and occasional pieces of skin, occasional pieces of skin. One morning in a fit of pique, sing rickety-tickety-tin. One morning in a fit of pique, she drowned her father in the creek. The water tasted bad for a week, and we had to make do with gin, had to make do with gin. And when at last the police came by, rickety-tickety-tin. When at last the police came by, her little prank she did not deny. To do so she would have had to lie. And lying she knew was a sin, a sin. Lying she knew was a sin. My tragic tale I won't prolong, rickety-tickety-tin. My tragic tale I won't prolong. If you did not enjoy the song, you've yourselves to blame if it's too long. You should never have let me begin, never have let me begin. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the St. Patrick's Day edition of the virtual time travel pub crawl. That was the Irish Ballad by Tom Lehrer, pictured here in the late 1950s when he split a bill at Orchestra Hall, where Aiden and I are seeing Weird Al this summer, splitting a bill with Odetta. What a bill that must have been, Odetta and Tom Lehrer. It doesn't sound like a great pairing. I mean, he's very funny and she's not. But they're both absolute geniuses, so it must have been a fantastic show. So, all right, everybody, welcome along to another Mysterious Chicago time travel pub crawl. I'm Adam Seltzer from Mysterious Chicago Tours. I've got about a dozen Chicago history books out, including Mysterious Chicago the book, H.H. Holmes' The True History of the White City Devil, and the now rare Ghost of Chicago. I'm also on the History Channel and the Travel Channel all the time, so I am incredibly famous. You should definitely pay attention to whatever I say. So, welcome along. Every now and then we do a thing called time travel pub crawls, starting about 2 years ago. And in fact, I found out from Facebook memories that this is about the second anniversary of doing morning mini tours. My first big full-length virtual tour was March 28th of 2020. If you know remember any basic history about March 2020, you know why I had to start doing those. But it looks like it was about 2 years ago that I started doing morning mini tours. And at the time, it was just broadcasting for a couple of minutes around Graceland Cemetery to 3 or 4 people who were watching. But then things grew pretty quickly. And once I started thinking, hey, we should also do virtual pub crawls, I thought, hey, if it's virtual, we're not bound by time or space. We could do anything. Of course, we needed a vehicle. 1915, a diver named Frenchy Deneau found a wreck of a homemade submarine, a 40-foot-long sub in the Chicago River. They named it the Fool Killer and put it on display on South State Street. For a dime, you can see the submarine and the dead guy they found on board. And if you see at the bottom there, special for children. Groups of 10 or more kids were half off on Saturday mornings. So, the thing disappears off of the record, so we're going to say that we found it. And it turns out that not only is it a submarine, it also goes through time and space, parallel parks, and can navigate Lower Wacker Drive. But all right, I think it's about time that we get going. We're going to be going around to some places that are associated with Irish bars, of course, places where folk music was particularly well known. Oh, hey, we're getting a message. It's Eli, our ship's mechanic. Hey, Eli, what's up, man?
Hey, Adam.
Hey, where's the rest of the guys? It was Eli from the Dead Ringer Quartet.
Hey, me and the guys are thinking, since you're going to a lot of places relatively into drinking songs and folk music, can you hit a place from the early 1960s?
Might know a place.
Well,
what's up?
We were thinking that with a well-timed set and a good song, we could replace the folk boom with the barbershop boom. Mm-hmm. Then we'll introduce the Beatles to marijuana, merge barbershop with rock, be the voice of promise of the 60s counterculture, don makeup in the 70s, disappear into a haze of substance abuse, emerge to find Jesus, be written off as has-beens by the end of the 80s, and shift gears and release some of the strongest music of our careers in the late 90s. Win the Nobel Prize, sell our catalog for a cool $300 million.
It's been done.
Just listen. A doleful damsel I heard cry, Johnny, I hardly knew ya.
Okay, I might know just the place. But first, okay, so we'll see what we can do. But first, we're going to stick around Chicago a little bit and go to one of Chicago's oldest Irish bars that is still functioning. Not the oldest in the city by any means, but down such a cool area here around the old Armitage Historic District, one of those little micro neighborhoods that I prize so highly. Down on the corner here is the River Shannon. This is an old Chicago bar, Well, back in the 1940s or so, anyway. And currently, the corner is named after Joe Mantegna. He lived above the place here when he was first starting out as an actor. You might know him as Fat Tony from The Simpsons. Or my favorite clip of him from Airheads.
He wipes his ass with his record contract. I love this guy. But
this will just be a good place to get us started here. River Shannon opened in 1948, and to get it started, they actually brought some gallons of water from the River Shannon over from Ireland to pour down Armitage Avenue. So literally recreating the River Shannon down on the street. It was thought to be closing for a little while in 1971, closing forever. But as you can see, something managed to save it. We're going to be going all over the place. 1980s Irish bars in Chicago could be a little bit tricky to get into, partly because we have not necessarily the kind of crowd they were looking for back in the old days. Here's an article from 1982. We Southside Irish can beat the stamp collection out of any Northside Irishman in money, marbles, or chalk, boasts one rabid patron of a 63rd Street saloon. Another bartender said, "Oh, sure, everyone is welcome, as long as they're white and as long as they're not women." We're going to be staying away from that place. We're going to go to places that I think are a little more friendly to all crowds. So we're going to start by going to this fantastic-looking place in the 1960s. Well, this building goes back to the 1880s. It was a French restaurant for a long time. In the early 60s, it became a place called the Bear Club, a folk club in River North. Louis Sullivan designed mansion, right across from Tree Studios. And currently, the site where this horrible-looking parking lot is. I mean, this may be about the worst possible then and now that I could bring up. Here's how it looked before, a gorgeous Louis Sullivan mansion. Here's it today. Then, now. Then, now. But it was a folk music club that moved into the old French restaurant that was called The Bear. Not a whole lot is really known about the place. We knew that they have a New Beer's Eve. We know more about the French restaurant, really, than the Bear Club. Quite a bit about that. The Bear opened in early 1962, was really only open for a while. But here it is, opens May 1st. It happens there. Where? The Bear. Every room had things to see. And the inside was still made up with things like these old Louis Sullivan columns that were eventually rescued. Richard Nickel managed to get some photographs of the interior of the place, so we have a little bit of what it looks like. It's probably best known today because somebody happened to be running a tape recorder the day that Bob Dylan sang there. Very young Bob Dylan, when he was first starting out, and nobody in Chicago had heard of him. But this is a folk music place. The Dead Ringers did just ask me if I could find them a good place for folk music so they could try to replace Dylan and the folk boom with a barbershop boom. I suppose it's worth a shot. So, okay, here's our guy.
Welcome to the Bear, Chicago's newest folk music club, soon to be an institution in the city.
Sure. I hear you're a real folk music impresario.
You, might say that. I got this up-and-coming kid coming in from New York. His manager, Albert, says Woody Guthrie himself said he may not make it on his writing, but the kid can sing it. You want a drink?
Yeah, what's good here?
We have one based on one of the kid's songs. Call it a Hard Rain. Take a hard cider, add some maraschino, and a shot of brandy.
All right, that sounds pretty delicious. One of those. I'm a bit of a manager myself. I got another one.
Those are passé. The kids today want authentic folk singers, not the Kingston Trio and the Main Street Singers.
Well, just give them a listen. These guys are going to electrify folk music. Just watch. Next big thing. Here we go.
You fellas ready?
You know me.
I'm always ready to play with you lads.
I've been waiting for you.
I'm just excited you remember doing
I don't hear a lot of money there, man.
Well, just
All right,
try it.
then.
Just try it.
My wild Irish rose, the sweetest flower that grows. You may search anywhere, but none can compare to my wild Irish rose, Irish rose. My wild Irish rose, the dearest flower that grows. And someday for my sake, she may let me take the bloom from my wild Irish rose.
All right, since we can travel back in time a little bit here, I'm going to have to,
So when we say take the bloom from her rose, it means,
Exactly what you think it means.
Oh?
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to have to fast forward a little bit through this guy and get his response. Kind of screwed up there.
I don't hear a lot of money there, man.
Yeah, well, your club's going to be closed by next July, and next year this place will be a parking lot.
Right. Like they're gonna pave this place to put up a parking lot.
Well, you heard it here, folk, first. Well, let's hear from one of my favorite folk singers operating in Chicago today at the Great Irish Tune. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ross Berman.
Let the grasses grow and the waters flow in a free and easy way, but give me enough of the rare old stuff that's made near Galway Bay. Come gougers all from Donegal, from Sligo and Leitrim too. We'll give them the slip and we'll take a sip of the rare old Mountain Dew. With a hey diddle diddle and a hi diddle diddle and a hey diddle 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 hey. With a hey diddle hi diddle hey diddle hi diddle hey diddle 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 hey. Well now, learned men that use the pen, Everett the praises high of the rare old dew from Ireland green, distilled from wheat and rye. Throw away your pills, it'll cure all ills, be a pagan, Christian, or Jew. Throw off your coat and grease your throat with a bucket full of Mountain Dew. With a hey diddle diddle and a hi diddle diddle and a hey diddle 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 hey. With a hey diddle hi diddle hey diddle hi diddle hey diddle 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 hey. And there's a neat little still at the foot of the hill where the smoke curls up to the sky, and by a whiff of the smell you can plainly tell there's a whiskey brewing by. For it fills the air with a perfume rare that betwixt both me and you. And home we'll roll, we can drink a bowl or a bucket full of Mountain Dew. With a hey diddle diddle and a hi diddle diddle and a hey diddle 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 hey. With a hey diddle hi diddle hey diddle hi diddle hey diddle 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 hey. With a hey diddle diddle and a hi diddle diddle and a hey diddle 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 hey. With a hey diddle hi diddle hey diddle hi diddle hey diddle 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 hey. Happy St. Patrick's Day, y'all. Celebrate responsibly. Or don't. I can't stop you.
All right, I tried to sing along a little bit there. I've always thought that songs like that might have been good drunk tests. Like, okay, you think you're ready to drive home? Let's hear you do the rare old Mountain Dew. Tiddle-de-idle-diddle-dum version, not the hey-diddle-diddle version. All right, Ross Berman, everybody. Check him out on Bandcamp. He's had a couple new albums come out, several new albums, in fact. He's kind of hit his Sgt. Pepper phase these days. Since he hasn't been able to perform in a long time, he did a lot of recording over the pandemic. One of the best songwriters operating out of Chicago today as well. And let's actually stick around the same neighborhood, but move back in time a little bit, back to about the 1920s. Just around the corner was a place called the Kerryman, which we just covered a little bit on the River North tour, because this was the site long before this was a neighborhood where any but the bravest tourists went. It was mostly standing room only apartment buildings, leather bars for a while, strip clubs for a long time. But it used to be the Mcgovern Brothers Liberty Inn. Here's their Christmas thing that made it look like it was a nice, happy place to go. It really was not all that happy. It was a sleazy place right from the start, and reputedly the first employer of Dean O'Banion, who became the head of the North Side Mob in the 1920s. They say he worked here as a singing waiter back in the old days. Well, let's just see if Mr. Mcgovern has anything to tell us.
Welcome to Mcgovern Brothers Liberty Cafe. Who sent you?
No one. We're just looking for a drink.
Everyone is. That stuff's illegal right now.
Oh, of course.
Why, a drink's harder to find around here than a vegetable in the stockyards.
We got money.
Well, what'll you have?
What do you got that's good here?
Beer supply's been slow, but here's one for you. We take whiskey, whatever rot gut they'll sell us, and now it all tastes like swills, so we mask the flavor with lime juice, then muddle in some cucumber slices and mint leaves, and there you are. The whiskey could be embalming fluid, and it would still be tasty. Mind, I said it could be embalming fluid, not that it is.
Right. Hey, is it true that Dean O'Banion, head of the North Side Mob, got his start here as a singing waiter?
Sure. We called him Gimpy O'Banion because it's 1921 and we're all a bunch of jerks. So,
Facts.
one day, Gene Gary comes in, all excited because he shot up a joint on 22nd. Starts asking for whiskey and a song. All the other waiters are too scared, but up walks little Dean. won his way into the mob with a rendition of My Wild Irish Rose.
Hey, I know some guys who can sing that. Hang on, if you just hire these guys, maybe they can get into the South Side mob, break into the music business the old-fashioned way.
My wild Irish rose, the sweetest flower that grows. You may search anywhere, but none can compare to my wild Irish rose, Irish rose. My wild Irish rose, the dearest flower that grows. And someday for my sake, she may let me take the bloom from my wild Irish rose.
Well,
Okay, stop. What is that?
that's singing, man.
You tell those mop tops to get a haircut.
What? But they're
Look,
bald.
I know this ain't the 225 or the Sherman Hotel, but tell those boys to see a barber if they want to work around here. I mean the youths these days. They think that the world owes them a job. They can just waltz in off the street. Oh, Mr. Mcgovern, give us a job. We deserve a job. But no. Can't even be bothered to pull a comb through their hair. I mean, I've got to get out of here. Come on now.
Okay, I think it's time that we got out of here, too. Why don't we do ourselves some sailing and take advantage of this fool killer thing? Let's just hop in the fool killer and start sailing away.
And another thing,
Oh.
How is a man supposed to make a profit if the cops keep coming and taking all his money just so he can stay in business? I mean,
Okay, I think we might have just hit Mr. Mcgovern on the way out. I'm sure he's okay. Let's pull up the next day's newspaper. William Mcgovern killed. Mail truck runs down. See, that wasn't us. That was a mail truck. Totally a mail truck. It's all gonna be okay. Let's get out of here fast. All right, everybody. Let's actually go down to Mount Olivet Cemetery. And of course, we end up here every now and then for things like Find a Grave Friday. This is the grave of Chief Francis O'Neill. Every time we come here, we sing him an Irish song that he might not know. Francis O'Neill was not only the chief of the Chicago police, he was also a huge collector of Irish folk tunes. Huge documentarian, ethnomusicologist is what you'd call him properly. In fact, quite a number of traditional Irish tunes that survive because Chief O'Neill collected them. It was often said that he would forget about all police work if he heard that some woman 30 miles away knew an old Irish tune that he hadn't collected. And this being that era of the Chicago police, most people figured he was probably better off going off to trace down Irish music than to do any Chicago-style police work. So, with one of his tunes, here's our favorite fiddler, ladies and gentlemen, Amy Sweet Music McNally, the infamous fiddler. right, ladies and gentlemen. Amy McNally, infamous fiddler on Patreon. And why don't we get out of Chicago now? And we are going to head on up to New York City. I got way too many buttons up here. All right, we're going to round up here over at Cooper Square and 7th down in the Lower East Side of Manhattan. Right across from Cooper Union, where Abraham Lincoln gave one of his most famous speeches, though nobody in there could tell me exactly where the speech was. And right down the block is Mcsorley's Old Ale House. Mcsorley's Old Ale House opened in 1854, by some metrics the oldest bar in Manhattan that is still continuously functioning. Continuously. It was the subject of a fantastic book called Mcsorley's Wonderful Saloon by Joseph Mitchell. It gets a little too in the weeds of interbar politics here and there, but really paints a picture of truly a bygone era. It was the subject of several paintings by Sloane of the Ashcan School, who may very well have painted this picture of H.H. Holmes writing his memoirs. He was working for the Philadelphia Inquirer at the time. But really kind of paints the picture of Manhattan, the Lower East Side, back before it was overrun by hipsters like me. Now here's Woody Guthrie himself sitting at a table there with his famous guitar sign, "This Machine Kills Fascists." It was also advertised among a lot of the folk music places back in the Village Voice in the early 60s. I actually just wrote an article about this article to the left. They had a Twilight Hootenanny at the Gaslight Cafe, as seen on the marvelous Mrs. Maisel. The guy thanked all the people for playing there, one of whom is Dylan, who is not known to have played at the Gaslight in 1963. So I emailed just about everybody on the list there who is still ambulatory, other than Bill Cosby and Dylan himself. None of them quite remembered that event, but I got a lot of really good gossip about the folk music scene in the early 60s. But also, look what else was going on in the Village that week. Zoot Sims and Al Cohn, Joey Carmen, Mose Allison, who I saw at the Jazz Showcase here in Chicago a couple of times, El Surratt, Arthur's Tavern, the Five Spot. Just flipping through here, it's like you could see John Coltrane in one place, then walk across the street, see Alex Dobkin and Dave Van Ronk and Ramblin' Jack Elliott. Then go see a Hootenanny. Go check out the Cafe Wah. Rooftop Singers, Jerry Mulligan. It's just one legend at Hugh Romney, that's also known as Wavy Gravy. Plus some stuff about Duke Ellington. It's impossible to imagine just how much good stuff there was to pick from at the time. And Mcsorley's is still there. I've been there. They've got their own beer, but it's the exact same as the house beer at the Billy Goat here in Chicago. And they kind of go for a similar vibe, the similar way to attract tourists by having the same stuff up for a very long time. But while we're in New York here, I don't really have a Mcsorley's singer, but I do have our favorite New York pair, Bill and Marissa. Marissa Mulder and Bill Zephyro.
Sweeney, yeah. Are there any children on this show?
Yeah, because if there are, then I can't.
Are there little children on here that understand, words? Because Bill's got a really filthy one. But I think we should do it.
But it has a fabulous pedigree.
Yeah, I'm just going to take out... Sorry, guys. I'm just going to take out my charger. I have a lot of issues. Let me just pull this over now.
So let me explain.
I'm nervous for this. I hope there's no little children on.
Everybody's favorite Irish guy, Michael O'Feinstein.
Okay.
You know Michael O'Feinstein?
Yes.
He sent this to Will O'Friedwald.
Oh, Jesus.
And it's by Marshall Barer, who wrote, among other things, Once Upon a Mattress. But for some reason, I don't know, he must have been in a mood one afternoon. And this is what he wrote.
Oh, God.
And it's called, You Can't Deny You're Irish Anymore. I don't need my glasses because I'm not looking at anything. Oh, I can tell through all your lies and all your blarney, and you can't deny you're Irish anymore. For I knew your pimpin' father in Killarney when he rented out your mother for a whore. Sure, in Erin is the land that you were born in, and when you were just a tiny Irish sprite, you were flicking Paddy's chickens in the morning, 'cause you always like to save the pigs for night. Oh, you're a son of Ireland, I know. You're tiny turned up penis tells me so. Oh, you can't deny you're Irish, I can prove it. For I've seen you eating garbage off the floor. Yes, I know from all I've seen. And I've seen you shitting clean. And you can't deny you're Irish anymore.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
I promise I won't sing that again till next St. Patrick's Day. And I hope I don't get banned
I'm
for
so sorry, everybody. Oh, Uncle Joe came on. Oh, God.
Not Uncle Joe.
Mrs. Sweeney, I'm sorry. I'm sure you probably wanted something a little more gentle. Nice job, Bill, Mrs. Sweeney says. My Bailey's Irish cream just curdled. Marisa Frado Corcoran, laugh, laugh, laugh. Yeah, it's really inappropriate, but it is funny. That's Bill for you. I don't do Tulalu Relay. What is that? Tulalu? What is that? How do you know it?
Because I used to
You're
do
not
a
even
lot of big
Irish.
house. I know, but I used to do a bunch of.
All right, Bill. I guess Bill's gonna take over and do another number. He's such a diva. Okay, Bill. I'm just gonna
I'm gonna
watch
sing an
Better
actual.
Call Saul.
Okay, I am going now going to
Take it from
redeem
their
myself.
actual gig.
Could you tilt this up so that I don't just have
I'm
to
sorry.
look at half of my head?
You know, we really need a cameraman here. How am I supposed to be doing all this, huh? Okay.
Now don't you cry. That's an Irish lullaby. Over in Killarney many years ago, my mother sang a song to me in tones so sweet and low. Just a simple little ditty in her good old Irish way. And I'd give the world if I could hear that song she sang today. Now don't you cry. That's an Irish That really is a beautiful song.
That was much different than
I haven't
the
sung
other.
that in decades.
Well, you sounded great,
Thank
and
you.
it was a totally different feel than the other
Than
one.
the other one?
All right, Bill and Marissa, everybody. If you are in New York, look up Marissa Mulder, look up Bill Zeffiro. They play together at various Italian restaurants and lounges across the place. Marissa does cabaret shows that are absolutely astounding. Look up her Tom Waits show, look up her Beatles show, look up her Bob Dylan show. Especially her John Prine show is just astounding as well. You know, one thing, I don't think we've quite managed to bring about a barbershop boom. That just may not be happening tonight. So, sorry about that, but here once again to give it one more shot, the Dead Ringer Quartet, ladies and gentlemen.
Gather round, ye lads and lasses, set you for a while, and hearken to the mournful tale about the Emerald Isle. So let's all raise our glasses high to friends and family gone, and lift our voices in another Irish drink of song.
Me mother got consumption and me father got the pox. And Adam drank the whiskey till he wound up in the box. Me other brother in the trouble wet with his demise. My sister has forever died Irish eyes. Now everybody's died, so until our tears are dried, we'll drink and drink and drink and drink, and then we'll drink some more. We'll dance and sing and fight until the early morning light. Then we'll throw up, pass out, wake up, and then go drinking once again. Ken was killed in Kilkenny, and Clare, she died in Clare, and Tip from Tipperary died out in the Derriere. Shannon jumped into the river Shannon back in June. Ernie fell into the urn, and Tommy's in the tomb. Cleanliness is godliness, me Uncle Pat would sing. He broke his neck a-slipping on a bar of Irish Spring. O'Grady, he was 80, though his bride was just a pup. He died upon the honeymoon when she got his Irish shell. Now everybody's died, so until our tears are dried, we'll drink and drink and drink and drink, and then we'll drink some more. We'll dance and sing and fight until the early morning light. Then we'll throw up, pass out, wake up, and then go drinking once again. O'Reilly fought with Murphy on the cliffs of Alderney. He took out his shillelagh and he stabbed him in the spleen. Me crazy Uncle Michael thought he was a leprechaun, but he was just a leper and his arms and legs were gone. When Timmy Johnson broke his neck, it was a crying shame. He wasn't really Irish, but he went to Notre Dame. McNamara crossed the bridge and by a bus was hit, but he was just a Scotsman, so nobody gave a shit. Now everybody's died, so until our tears are dried, we'll drink and drink and drink and drink, and then we'll drink some more. We'll dance and sing and fight until the early morning light. Then we'll throw up, pass out, wake up, and then go drinking once again. Bumpkin Uncle Brendan tried to drive home from the bar. The road was up to meet him when he fell out from the car. Irony was what befell me great-grand-uncle Sam. He choked upon the very last potato in the hand. Connor lived in Ulstertown, he used to smuggle arms, until the British cut him and cut off his lucky charms. Greer old Father Flanagan, who left the Lord's employ, drunk on sacramental wine beneath the altar boy. Now everybody's died, so until our tears are dried, we'll drink and drink and drink and drink, and then we'll drink some more. We'll dance and sing and fight until the early morning light. Then we'll throw up, pass out, wake up, and then go drinking once again. Someday soon we'll leave this world of pain and toil and sin. The Lord will take me by the hand and join all of me kin. My only prayer is when the good Lord comes for me and you. He kills the cast of Riverdance and Michael Flatley too. Now everybody's died, so until our tears are dried, we'll drink and drink and drink and drink, and then we'll drink some more. We'll dance and sing and fight until the early morning light. Then we'll throw up, pass out, wake up, and then go drinking once again. Then we'll throw up, pass out, wake up, and then go drinking once again. Then we'll throw up, pass out, wake up, and then go drinking once again. Hey! Tidy-tidy-tidy. Faith and Begorra. Top of the morning to you. Cartoonish Irish stereotype.
All right, the Dead Ringers, everybody. All right, thank you a lot for joining me once again. Everybody should definitely feel free to hit up Eli on Venmo as well while I have my own stuff up on here. In fact, here, let's make this one a little smaller so there's more room for that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was some upcoming stuff. Sunday morning, we're doing Uptown Tales for only the second time ever. Thursday night, I will not be in town. I will not be around. I will be in the middle of seeing a Bob Dylan concert at the time, but there will be a surprise. I've been working on rigging that up. If you saw me go online for about 20 seconds earlier today, that was an accident because I hit the wrong button while I was trying to get next week's surprise going. Meantime, should you need a Mysterious Chicago t-shirt, sweatshirt, hoodie, coffee mug, etc., just go to cafepress.com/mysteriouschicago. They've got everything you need right there, and probably several things that you don't actually need. And with that, everybody, thanks a lot for joining me. I'm going to put the Benny Goodman back on, and we will just hang out for a bit like we always do on this second year anniversary of us doing virtual tours here at Mysterious Chicago. Thanks for leading me out, Sauce. Thanks, Heather. Thanks, Jenny. Thanks all the people fighting in the comments. $132 comments. Yeah, I ain't gonna read all of that. 55,000 views of me ripping on Trump Tower on a boat tour. All right. I gotta get going on Mystericon. It seems like it's so far away. It's still 7 months out. I should really book the boat. Georgie, I think the History Channel thing went well, but I might have talked him out of doing the segment. We'll find out. Aviva, I will let them know that. At the Dead Ringers, there was an early episode where they cloned themselves, where Eli cloned himself a few times. In a duplicator, scientific progress went boink. Carol, that's an excellent question. Yep, I'll be seeing Cassidy and Christy and Luca, Belle, Sharon, and Rich, all in less than a week now. I haven't seen Cassidy and Christy's new house yet. Thanks, Cindy. That's the idea, you know.
And that would put rhythm in the feet of a wooden Indian. That was the bugle call rag, Benny Goodman's own arrangement. Now, the popular tune, Thanks a Million.
Thank you, Kathy. Thanks to everybody who's still been contributing. Thanks, Trishy. We haven't seen Miles yet today, have we? Does Eli have a Zell? That I don't know. Let's go find the cats. Here's the man himself. I've kind of disturbed his slumber. There's Marita. Here's the guy. Can't have a show without Miles.
Down Harlem Way, they're all trucking. And here's Helen Ward to tell you all about her. Trucking.
Oh, he was in a whole other room. Has Layla posted pictures of her new cat yet? Victor Hooper? Victor Hooper looks a lot like Miles. Go ahead and make this small. I don't think anybody's scanning these QR codes. Here comes Miles, hopping up. All over town. Okay, you see, I wouldn't have guessed that was what the Zell is. Thanks for posting that, Mother. And Victor Hooper is an adorable cat, adjusting very well to his new place. Miles adjusted to Priya pretty well after a couple of days. He's still very territorial when Sammy, the upstairs cat, who roams the halls sometimes, starts howling at the door. Like, he and Priya will bump noses when I open the door. A lot. But Miles doesn't like having another cat around much. Other than Priya. He loves Priya. He's still hanging around here. Happy St. Patrick's Day, Paula. Do we have a rainstorm coming here tomorrow? That could make for an interesting, it's cool and rainy tomorrow morning. Oh yes, it should be raining for the Find a Grave Friday tomorrow morning. So that's fun. Be safe, those of you down there in Arkansas. Arkansas, Arkansas. I just love old Arkansas.
Benny Goodman presents On the Alamo.
Find a Wet Grave Friday. How bad is the rain? I didn't see how bad it was. I just saw that it's 50% chance while I'm broadcasting tomorrow. Yeah, Kathy, people post comments about like crazy things they do in cemeteries on my TikToks. Like I'm gonna be shocked. My friends and I like to sneak into cemeteries and eat Taco Bell. Like, I feel very bad that you can't get better tacos wherever you are, but this is basically a St. Patrick's Day week here. They dyed the river on Saturday. People are still going to be celebrating this weekend, I'm sure. Sarah, I've done Wanda a few times. I know where she's at. Yeah, Priya is taking up a space on the couch back there. I found lots of things in the cemetery. Yeah, underwear, whatever. I like the guys who I don't need to come on a tour. We're just going to sneak in there with some boards and some crystals, man. Like, well, let's assume that you can, in fact, summon the dead with shiny rocks and something that says Parker Brothers on it. If you don't come on the tour, you're going to end up like summoning the spirit of some guy who was vice president of a lumber company.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and we stay right in the urban room of the Congress Hotel in Chicago and dance some more to Benny Goodman and his orchestra, and hear Helen Ward sing Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo.
Sunday Live, some residuals. When St. Patty's Falls on Purim would be a good tune. I wish I thought of that before today. It only comes up every so often. What is the oldest grave at Graceland? Depends on how you look at things. Conrad Sulzer Jr. was actually buried at what is now Graceland before it was Graceland, though he was moved to a new location. Daniel Page Bryan was the first official burial there, though he was also moved elsewhere in the cemetery after a while. There's another one right by where he was, but it's unmarked. Oldest marked one would be an interesting one to try to find out. But then you've also got the ones that where the marker was moved from the old city cemetery and there's not generally a record of where it came from. Debbie, there's a few of them like that. I'll have to scroll back to see where you're talking about. I know there was one in Des Moines called the Glowing Grave. But I'm trying to figure out which one in Des Moines was the Glowing Grave. I watched a Purim spiel from Park Avenue Synagogue last night. It was a cowboy-themed Purim spiel, so a bunch of Upper East Siders line dancing. It was about what you'd expect. Then they sang, "We are never, ever, ever bowing down to Haman."
And we'll let the title speak for itself. Benny Goodman presenting Madhouse.
Good night, Chuck, and stay spooky indeed. Okay. How are things going over on TikTok? I don't know why I decided to post one that might be inflammatory 10 minutes before I started broadcasting. Oh yeah, up to 63,000 views. That's not a bad evening. I could only get 250 to watch the Perry H. Smith one. Thanks, Lisa. Hope you had a good birthday. Sandy, yeah, I'm just having myself some PBR. And I find that, I don't find craft beer that much better for the price. When I'm having a beer, unless it's like a good pumpkin beer or something. There's a few of them that I really like. I do love pumpkin beer. See, Mr. Autumn Man left the AV Club today. I didn't realize one of my Twitter followers was Mr. Autumn Man. He mentions in his farewell valedictory article that he would post comments for people who had no idea one of their followers was Mr. Autumn Man. That would have been me. Now, Karen, I don't think anybody's crazy. I think you should give Taylor Swift another shot, but... Oh, we've been to the Black Angel. We found the Black Angel in Iowa. We found the Iowa City Black Angel. Oh, yeah, there was another one that used to be in Moline, but I guess isn't there anymore. I think it was like next to John Deere or something. I've been to the cemetery where it was. Kristen, yeah, pretty much everybody from Chicago is leaving the Onion/AV Club now that they're moving to LA.
And here's a short encore portion of Benny Goodman's forthright invitation at the beginning of his program. Let's dance.
Most of Taylor Swift's albums, there were a few songs that I liked and a bunch I was indifferent to. But then Lover I thought was great almost from beginning to end, and her last two were just fantastic. Right now, you should all be listening to Samia, though, S-A-M-I-A, and her new cover of The Magnetic Fields' Born on a Train, which I can't say enough good things about. I'm 100% sure that'll be my most listened to song at the end of the year.
We have been presenting the music of Benny Goodman and his orchestra from the Joseph Urban Room of the Congress Hotel on Michigan Avenue.
Yeah, that cemetery in Moline is pretty cool. It's like you go on like a winding staircase to get up to the top of the hill. You drive around in circles. One of Charles Dickens' sons is there. The one time I was there, there was this grave that had a new pair of running shoes on it, and then the epitaph said, "I will come to you." Which, I can't think of the non-creepy explanation for that. But alright everybody, Benny Goodman has wrapped up, so I think it's time for me to wrap up too. What do you think, Miles? It's about time? It's about time. Let everybody go party. But I will see you all tomorrow for Find a Grave Friday. Next week we'll be doing Find a Grave Friday in a whole new place. Right now I have no idea who I'm going to find tomorrow. But alright everybody, thanks a lot for joining me. I'm Adam Seltzer for Mysterious Chicago Tours, everybody. Tomorrow, Sunday morning, we'll be doing Uptown Tales, and Thursday, I'll give you guys a nice surprise while I'm busy at the Bob Dylan concert. So thanks a lot for joining me. I'm Adam from Mysterious Chicago Tours, saying to stay safe, stay strong. Stay sober if you're driving. But most of all, everybody, you gotta stay spooky. Have a great night, everybody.